You're listening to The Sizzle on Iron Skillet Radio and Iron Skillet Television.
You know who it is. You know what it is. It's the Sizzle in the building again. You know who's in the building. J Sizzle's in the building. G Sizzle's in the building. We are here with the hottest information in the region. Listen, man, if you have not liked, subscribed, and shared, make sure that you hit the button. Make sure that you're following us when we get this content. And make sure that you're following us on any platform at hashtag Iron Skillet Sports. You can find the YouTube. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram. You can also find us wherever you find your greatest podcast. We're there. Iron Skillet Sports, the Sizzle. Let's get ready to get into it because we're getting ready to do some. I
got one announcement, G Sizzle.
What's that?
I got one announcement.
What's that, bro?
This is summertime fun time at the Sizzle. And throughout the summer, we are going to give you, the listener, an opportunity to come on and be on the show with us. Hit us up at info@ironskilletsports.com if you want to come on and chat a little bit, and we'll see when we can get this set up. But we want to have fun with you. Don't you want to have fun with us?
Hey, man, we're getting ready to go into year 3. It's going to be
sound
big,
right,
baby. Wait. Yeah, well, well, let's just not have fun with our players, just like some other teams have had fun with their players. But we'll talk about that in a second.
Wow.
You know what it is. We got so much to talk about, bro, because you know what it's time for. You know what the people want. The people got to have it. It's the Hot 5 and 5. Oh, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Hot 5 and 5. We got a lot going on today. We got to talk about the Nets, but before we talk about Nets Bucks, let's talk about Hot 5 and 5. Today, the Celtics trade Kemba Walker to the Thunder in an NBA bombshell deal, sending some players, some picks, sending some futures into jeopardy, and sending some more people into happiness. It's going to be a wild show, and the Celtics are making the moves. All right, Jay, are you ready?
Danny Ainge is gone.
Yeah, he's gone out of there. They bombed him out of there.
Yeah.
Hey, the Chicago mayor takes a savage shot at the Bears after steps forward to possibly moving out of Soldier Field. All talks on the table, all things are going, but Lori Lightfoot said, not so quick. Au contraire, mon frere, you're keeping your booties right here. All right, Jay, I don't know if you saw it, but the Yankees turned the first 1-3-6-5-2-5-6 triple play in ML history against the Blue Jays. Terrible baseball.
Sound like my old girlfriend's phone number.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like a bad time
1,
song.
2, 3.
Yeah, something like that.
The anti-time.
Yeah.
Behind the times.
Yeah, Behind the Times made a song called 1-3-6-2-5-2-6.
Lead singer is Morris Knight.
Oh.
See what I did? See, I'm always working.
I see. But now some serious business, really serious business. The Blackhawks are accused of not contacting police over sexual assault allegations and reports stemming back from 2010. And some executives and some people around the Blackhawks may be in deep doo-doo when it comes up in the season starts.
Oh.
And on the 5 and 5, man, we got to end it on a good note. Listen, man, the NBA All-Rookie team came out headlining with LaMelo Ball and Anthony Edwards. The NBA All-Rookie team, all right, are you ready for this? Features on the first team, Sacramento's Tyrese Halliburton, Detroit's Sadiq Bey, and Houston's Jayshawn Tate. And guess who was the last pick for the second team, Jay? Oh, yeah, baby.
Who's that?
The green shoe bandit himself, Mr. Irish Water Shoes, Patrick Williams, made it on the second All-NBA rookie team.
How?
Somebody had to get there.
I just want to know how.
And that is the Sizzle's Hot 5 and 5. So look, man, I know
on there.
We're going to talk about this before we get ready to talk about the Nets getting bucked. But hey, man, let's talk about your boy Patrick Williams. he has some hardware now, sir. He's a all-rookie teamer. It's all-rookie teamer. And Cole Anthony's mad because he got snubbed. I mean, how do you get mad and you didn't play for more than a quarter of the season? I don't get it.
Well, I mean, but you got Patrick Williams who didn't play for a quarter of the season and he played all season. You know what I'm saying? How do you make this team? I don't understand it. I mean, what at any point in time did we see Patrick Williams take over a ball game? At any point in time did he go through a stretch where we were like, oh, there it is? You know,
maybe that's why he's on the second team.
I can't. How many 20-point games? I got to look that up. Now you brought it, and I'm not prepared for the question.
I think it was
But
one.
I wonder how many 20-point games did he have this year?
I'm almost sure it was one. He had, okay, the better question, maybe not 20-point games. How many double-digit games did he have this season? It may have been about 5 or 6. It wasn't over 10, I know that much. But and even if it were over 10, it wasn't enough for me to say, ooh, he's some special. Him is special. No, sir. No, Patrick Williams just was doing his thing. The thing that he liked to do was just really aggravate Jay Sizzle. I think that's the biggest thing. He liked to just make Jay Sizzle mad by wearing his leprechaun shoes.
Define Patrick Williams. He averaged 9.2 points per game.
Okay.
Rebounds was 4.6.
All right.
Let's see what else. Anything else sticks out? No.
Yeah. Okay.
He had a career high 24 points.
Okay.
At one game, he had a career high of 24.
All right.
And
hey man, well, at least he had 24 points in an NBA game. I mean, that's real. That's now, all jokes aside, that's serious. To put up 24 points in an NBA game, and I think that was one of those desperation games. Zach LaVine was out, everybody was out, and they had to turn to those quick feet of Patrick Williams to go ahead and put it in. Can I say this, Jay? Like, we're talking about Patrick Williams, but for real, on the real, you see what's happening in OKC. You know, they're moving boys around. The Celtics actually made a whole trade just to get a young guy. They sent, to get away from Kemba Walker's contract, they sent the 16th pick and Kemba Walker, but they got Moses Brown. And if you had him in fantasy at the end of the year, you knew Moses Brown was doing some things. I mean, he had like a double. He had double points and double rebounds. I mean, my man was doing the thing. And he's going to fit well because Boston obviously can find no bigs. I don't get it. And then you got Al Horford, who's going back, who's about 80. But he's going to look really good back in Celtic green. Now, I don't know how you make it up. Like, his family was quite hostile. I mean, his sister was kind of mean to the Boston people. She said they sucked.
You know, LeBron James has run the NBA. When he went and gathered everybody up down with the Heat, it has now become not that we're going to build a franchise, build a winner over a period of time. It is that we have to win right now or bust. So you see teams either loading up on players or unloading players, trying to get young talent in to put a core around that makes them attractive to top flight free agents that may come to their ball club. This is what you're seeing now, because now you're seeing free agents like Chris Paul. You're seeing people like AD. You're seeing other people like that. They're looking at ball clubs and they're going, if I go in there, can we have an opportunity to win a championship? So now that's what you see all the teams. It's gone now that teams are going to try to build through the draft, 2 or 3 drafts, and we're going to have a core. That old school mentality is over with. LeBron James has ruined the NBA because now it is going to be who has the deepest pockets and who's buddy with who. Because if you got people right now and you have not been brought out to the Hamptons by some of the other fellow NBA players, if you are an NBA superstar outsider, it's very possible you will not get a chance to win a championship in the NBA because you can't get any of your friends to come play in your sandbox.
But okay, even in Boston sandbox, man, they had to do something. I mean, you're looking at Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I'm not afraid of either of the two of them. I mean, not saying they're not great players, not saying they don't do their thing, but I'm not afraid of losing a championship to them. I'm not afraid because I don't think they can beat any of the top 3 teams right now. And I don't think they can beat the Hawks.
At one point in time, earlier in the season, everybody was talking about the Celtics were the team to watch. The Celtics had the core, that young group, and they were going to come and fire. And all of a sudden, we saw misfiring from that group because they could not sustain that level of pro. And when I talk about level of pro, it's difference between a level of maturity and a level of pro level maturity.
Right.
You have to be able to win ball games late in series, late in the season in the NBA. You saw the Nets pour it on at the end. They won their last 5 ball games. You saw what's going on now where they put them into a game 7. You have to have pros play at that high level who understand the game, know when to turn it on and turn it off. You had the Celtics who looked great at the early part of the year, but then you also saw not too, what's the right word I'm looking for? You saw not even a falling off. You just saw an implosion a little bit from the Celtics toward the end of the year.
You saw that, COVID.
And all of a sudden there was this, well, everybody else had to deal with the COVID.
Yeah.
Everybody else had to deal with the COVID.
But
so I don't really use that.
Jason Tatum did not.
I don't use it as an excuse.
But he didn't do well. He was not well and healthy. If you got to take an inhaler on the sideline, I don't know.
Right. But the thing about it that we saw is that these pro teams, these guys did not get the COVID. All right. We saw who won the championship, the COVID championship this year?
The Lakers.
Wasn't that LeBron in the group?
Yeah, because they all stayed in one hotel room.
They all stayed in one hotel room. And why did they all stay in one hotel room? Literally? Because you had pro-level leadership.
Okay.
Because LeBron wouldn't let him out.
Right.
You had guys down there in the bubble sneaking, setting up stripper poles in there, bringing in people from Magic City because they just had to get some wings. I mean, all types of nonsense that you had going on with these young ball players. And the old heads were like, oh, no, we're all sitting down.
Wait,
that's what I'm talking about.
The wing. No. That wing thing, that wasn't no young. That was the old head. Lou Williams is old enough to be these boys' daddy.
Yeah, but he's young in the mind, though. All right, you don't put Lou. You don't put Lubes up there in the upper echelon of any of the NBA players. They don't even think about Lou Williams up there. You still think Lou Williams is 20.
You don't think about Lou Williams. What you said about the gym shoes yesterday. Like Lou Williams is that dude that's going to be 65 still shopping at Foot Locker.
You can't, dude, if you're over 60, all right, please, all of you are. Matter of fact, to tell you the honest truth, if you're over 55, unless you're like my friend that I play ball with, John Horton, who is like super buff, super built at 50 plus years old, who teaches fitness class, he looks like a Greek god. But beyond that, if you're not that guy, then you need to go. Your assortment of footwear needs to be some New Balance, some Adidas, some things like that in regular colors that you can wear that go with your jeans or your tracksuits. You cannot be up in there rocking the brand new pair of I don't even know what they are now.
The LeBron
Yeezy Jordans,
no,
Kobe's.
I just saw the new pictures of the LeBron South Beaches.
Right. Okay. So don't put them on. Don't put them on.
But they're Miami
and are they very colorful?
They're Miami Vice colored.
Don't.
They're like the sevens, man.
You look like unless you're driving your Wraith, all right? Unless you're driving your Wraith and you put those shoes on because everybody understands. And you're going to go drive it to pull up to go get it, and you pull it up to go get in your G5. Then nobody cares.
Oh,
because you can. But if you are a regular guy out here and you're 60 years old, don't put them shoes on. Just don't do it.
Can we talk
Let it
about
go. Anthony
NBA
Anderson.
fashions? Man, can we just talk about NBA fashions have sucked? And I love Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan may be one of the most unfashionable NBA players of all time because all of his clothes were big enough for both of us to wear. I don't understand and how he puts these colors and these clothes together and you get like stuck. Like I saw a picture of Allen Iverson and he dressed the same way he dressed when he first came into the league. And you just like, you're not a thug. I don't care what you say you are no longer a thug.
Well,
no, not when you have shrinkage.
But you're always stuck in your heyday though. You're always stuck in your head. You're stuck in your musical heyday. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm still a 501 Levi's type of guy. And if I could find some penny loafers that would fit, I'd put those on. I still wear polo shirts. What do I have on right now? I got an Izod shirt on right now. Mm-hmm. You know, still rock them. Who do you know? Seriously, who do you know wears polo and Izod shirts?
You.
All of us that are above 55 years old.
Yeah, well, but they're comfortable.
We're the one.
They're comfortable.
Yeah, but you don't see young guys rocking polos. You don't see, I mean, real polos. You don't see them. You don't see them rocking the Izod. You don't see them. No, not normally. Mm-mm. You know what I'm saying? So you live where you're stuck at. You know, if I had hair, I might still have that little shag in the back. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you see, I'm growing my hair back out so that I can get my braids because I figured it's about time. You know, it's time to let the locks grow out and flow for the world to see.
Okay, you're gonna look like a Rastafarian bozo. But hey, I'm with you, bro. You rock them, I got you. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah. Whenever your braids start at the middle of your head, it's too.
Dude, your hairline's back here. Oh, can I tell you something? You know the reason why it took me so long to put my arm up here like this? We're out at the event the other day, and we're cooking at the church and doing everything like that, which was a fun time. I went over there and looked at all the kids were playing basketball. They rolled the rims out, right? Well, after it was all said and done, there was a lone basketball way on the other side of the court by itself sitting under a street light. I went away from the crowd. There was nobody else out on the court. And I walked over and gingerly bent over so I didn't throw my back out and picked up the basketball. And I bounced it a couple times, dribbled, crossed it over, crossed it back. And in my mind, I'm like, hey, I'm feeling pretty good right now. I walked up to the basket, and I want to guarantee you I was about 5 feet away from the basket. I was right at where where you're going to take a charge line, where you be out, your heels have to be outside the line. I was right there, and I shot the ball, and I literally thought my shoulder was going to fall off. I strained my shoulder on a 4-foot shot. I am now, that was Wednesday night. We are now heading into the weekend, and I literally cannot lift my shoulder past this point.
Everyone has to do their job.
It was so sad. And I went out there, and I still shot about 5 more shots just to prove to myself. But I wasn't down there. I was hitting them, from 5 feet away. I was hitting them on net. And but dude, my shoulder. But I did not break out the leave. I didn't do it. I just wouldn't do it on a 5-foot jump shot. I wouldn't do it. That's what happens. That's why I can't wear the LeBron Yeezys, because
Tales from the Court by Jay Sizzle is brought to you by no one. That was the worst story we have heard this afternoon, but it might get even worse because you know what I forgot from the 5 and 5?
What's that?
Rick Carlisle told Mark Cuban, I ain't coming back. The shakeup that's going on in Dallas right now is amazing. Everything to keep Luka, and hopefully they get Luka back in shape. I mean, because he's in the shape now, but it's just getting to be pudge.
And Donnie Nelson's gone too. Donnie Nelson hit the eject button.
The man who created
so I'm wondering what's going over there.
I don't know, man. All I
Well,
know is they have a bad analytics person, and he's telling Mark one thing, and Mark's like this, and Rick was like, okay, that's what y'all really want to do? I can find a job. I can, man. Do you know how many openings there are now in the NBA? Hey, Boston
really.
is open. You've got Indiana that's open. You've got openings all over. And if you don't pay Nate McMillan in Atlanta, Atlanta might be open. So I mean, it's a lot going on. And if these lemon lime green shoes don't work for Patrick Williams, might be opening at the Bulls.
Yeah, well, you know, it's but you know what else too over there? Porzingis, I heard, is not happy either.
Yeah, well.
So I don't know what's going on. And then is Porzingis and Luka, are they boys, or are we looking at guys who might be rivals here? Because I think Porzingis is like, I was the man before you got here. And all of a sudden you step up in here and you got the old man game with a young man body, and all of a sudden now you're getting all the press clippings. Maybe he might say, hey, I think I need to be number one.
Maybe you package that up and send Laurie marketing over there, because they have like this European connection over going on in Dallas right now. So, I mean, you know, does it really even matter? Luka is
Luka's that guy.
He's the guy. I give it to you. He is the guy, but he's an old man in a young man's body. And now you might be able to label him a coach killer, because you didn't kill one of the longest tenured coaches in the league.
Yeah, but you weren't winning anything. Look how they went out. Look how the Mavs went out. They went out with a whimper. You know what I'm saying? And they never really looked. They were really in that series there. I mean, at first, the beginning, but at the end, it's like, you know, the Mavs, they're not going to be able to do it.
It's just like they don't have enough. They don't have enough to really compete in the West. You got Luka, and for Porzingis, I think somebody talked about it in the chat group. Like, dude, you can't complain about being number two when you play like number two. I mean, if you want to be number one, go in there and put some work in, bro. I mean, seriously. And then I say send Laurie there for one reason, because Laurie only seemed to get some zing about himself when he played against Porzingis. No pun intended, but I like what I did there. I'm just saying,
pretty good.
You have to, hey man, I'm an advocate for sending people where they'll shine and where they'll grow. Maybe Laurie just needs I don't think the Bulls are right for him. And which goes back to the whole thing about Patrick Williams. And I'm just going to say it this way.
Are the Bulls right for anybody?
No, not really. But Patrick Williams can be moved. So for all of those who are becoming Patrick Williams fans, look at the history of the NBA. Look at what's been going on. Look at what goes on in Minnesota. Bad teams move players out all the time. So you can be the number 7 pick today, and then you can be in Orlando with Wendell Carter tomorrow.
Well, the problem is nobody wants to be that GM. Nobody wants to be that owner that lets a guy go and he goes somewhere else and he shines. I mean, nobody wants to be that guy, you know, but that's the reason why you see guys who are hung on to way too long. Like the Laurie Marketings are hung on way too long. You just see where guys should have been moved.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my problem with Patrick Williams. Yeah, he made all rookie. Okay. I still don't see it, but again, they're not paying me to make that decision, and I'm not watching every game that he plays there. Mm-hmm. However, though, I don't think there's anybody out there in Bulls fandom right now, and I know there's some guys who are going to be sitting in the barbershop when they're listening to this, and they go, Jay, you always on Patrick Williams behind, and look at him now. He them leprechauns, he's all rookie NBA and all this. Like, yeah, okay. Is he going to take the Chicago Bulls to the Eastern Conference Championship? Can he lead this team to be the best team in the East? I'll wait for your answer, because you already know. I see you trimming him up over there. You already know that answer is no. That's just like somebody coming in and jack it up. You ever see those guys who mess up that line? Another barber jacks up that line, and your line is sideways, and they come in there and try to get you to fix it. And the only thing you can do is take it and make that forehead bigger. You know what I'm saying? And you drag out that mascara, and you be trying to pencil in. Yeah, That's what Patrick Williams is a line that's gone too far back in the back of the head, and I don't care how good it looks. Everybody knows it's messed up.
Well, I think he can take you to the Eastern Conference Finals if he's your Uber driver. If he is your Lyft or Uber driver, he can get you there. He can get you there.
You took me, you put me on there, and you dropped me off. That was perfect.
That's about all you're gonna do, sir. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about who got dropped into Greece. We had prognosticated the end of the Milwaukee Bucks season. We were bravely wrong. And in fact, we watched a Brooklyn Nets team that was either disinterested or knew that this thing was going back to Brooklyn, so we need to conserve as much energy as possible. We saw a Bucks team give out 70 points between their two highest players. We saw shenanigans. We saw Kevin Durant taking shots off of 1 foot somewhere, and then dude,
who really saw Middleton going for nearly 40 points? I mean, anybody out there saying, "Oh yeah, we knew he was gonna get 40." No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't know he was gonna go for 40. And are they going to get that same output from him again?
They're gonna have
to. This is what happens. Guys flat right. He's going to have to go for 40. He's going to have to go for 40. You know, and they're going to have somebody else pull up, and they're going to have to go for a high 20 because this is going to be a high-scoring game. So, yeah, a guy flashes in the 6th game. He does great. I'm happy for him. He played well. Can we do it again? Because Game 7, you're going to have to get this done. Because right now, the Slim Reaper, he's going to take everybody on one-on-one. Everybody on one-on-one, and it's going to be on and cracking. And you better
that rest. Maybe that's what it was.
I think he was on cruise control. I think the Slim Reaper was on cruise control. If we can get it, we can get it. They're out ahead. Okay, no problem. We got Game 7. You're not gonna stop me in Game 7. That ain't gonna happen. I'm not even gonna comb my hair for 2 days.
That's when you know it's a problem. You know he's come ready to play when you look at his hair and you're like,
when he got the BDBs going,
bruh, do you even have a
kitchen
brush?
all jacked up? Dude, with Kevin Durant, and here's the funny part about it, right? He balled in 2 places on top of his head, right? So you would think that a fine barber would cut that down and have that looking decent. You know what I'm saying? But Kevin Durant's like, nah. Kevin, you want to shave it up a little bit on the front? Check, fix your beard. How come his beard only grow that far and that's it?
Kevin Durant looks like an oversized Eddie Kendricks. It's bad when you see somebody with hair that bad. And you just like, as a child, he was difficult in that barber chair. He was that little kid, when you go in the barber shop that everybody in the shop is holding because they got to they don't even give him a cut. They just line it and just tell him to get out the chair.
Right. Mm-hmm. He looked like Teddy Pendergrass on that 1970s album cover. When he got that red, black, and green knit cap on, he looked like that with the beard just all jacked up. You know what I'm saying? In the world of trimmers and shavers, I mean, he's the anti beard man.
He just doesn't like it. Maybe he has to grow kind of rough to get his mojo going. Maybe that's like his playoff look.
Now, here's the one thing they need to get their mojo on. They better get back and start defending these fast break points. I know that because they got ran out the gym with that. I mean, it was what 20, 30 to 4, something like that. They got scored against them. So it was 26-4. But they need to get back and play some defense. They need to do that. But as you said, though, it just looked like they were like, it's Game 6. Okay.
Yeah, man. But maybe you have to allow for a game off. Jeff Green, Blake Griffin. I mean, maybe you got to give them like 2 games to get ready back again because these some old cats now, and they were not running.
Well, you did see Kevin Durant though at one point. I think it was in the 3rd quarter, maybe early 4th quarter. I can't remember because I was catching the game in and out. But he went for like 10 or 12 straight. You know what I mean? And he looked like going, okay. If you let me get close and let me sit there, if you don't respond to this, just I could do it to you again. You know. So Kevin Durant, I think, was just sort of on cruise control, and was like, well, okay, it's game 6, and we'll find out tomorrow.
You know what's funny,
hopefully
man?
James Harden.
Oh God, James Harden's hair still bothers me, but I don't know what they did. I don't really know. I mean, Giannis, he went to the recipe. He finally listened. Go to the paint. Go to the paint. Go to the paint.
Yeah.
But he still didn't defend KD. I mean, it wasn't that I'm going to take this game on my shoulder. So I'm just saying right now, I think they just want to win at home. And hey, shout out to Pastor Tony Sizzle, man. We hollered last night. Hope you're feeling better, Sizzle Tony. And listen, man, when he called it, he said, when you're in the paint and that's where their scoring is coming from, they're putting that work in the middle. Yeah, I mean, it was a sloppy, lazy game from Brooklyn. They looked disinterested. I don't know what happened. To your point, Jay, I think KD was like, okay, if we get close, we might do something. We're not. All right, well, yeah, I'll see him.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, though, and that crowd over there from Milwaukee, at the end, when they start singing No Sleep Till Brooklyn.
Oh,
okay.
Be careful what you ask for. You just might get it, baby.
Okay. All right. Y'all better let a sleeping dog lie, right? Because you know Kevin Durant is thin-skinned, and he's probably at home right now playing Paul Revere,
Funny.
over and over. He and Mike D.
Tony just said that last night when we were talking, and maybe that's the motivation he needs. Maybe he needs to hear the sizzle, and we talk about the beady beads, and then how just pedestrian he looked. He looked like grandma Kevin Durant. He just was not into the game, and maybe that's it. Maybe he's not just the leader. Control. Maybe he's not the guy that can win you the game. Maybe Kevin Durant.
Well,
sucks.
I mean, look, they had the 41st. This is the 41st different starting lineup that they had. You know, they haven't played together at all, literally half the season. So you're looking at a Kevin Durant, I think, a wily veteran who's like, I'm not gonna spend it all out here on a game I don't think we win. And I think that's what you saw. Once it was out of hand, it was out of hand. We're just going to go ahead and, maybe if I get on a run here and if I close it down, then I'll expend some more energy. But if not, don't worry about it. Come game 7, though, Slim Reaper. Now, I do believe you will see Giannis switch out on Kevin Durant on certain periods of time right now, because this is all the chips are out on the table on this one. And I think Kevin Durant's going to go on a tear. And I think who was guarding Kevin Durant game 5? Was that wasn't Middleton, was it?
That was Middleton, Chris Middleton.
Yeah. So he's going to go at Middleton again because Middleton exploded for these 40. And now Kevin Durant has to put him on the sidelines. So I think you're going to start seeing Kevin Durant taking him to the basket, trying to get him fouled, trying to get those early 2 in the first, definitely that third by midway through the second quarter. So now you take a good defender, but one of your top offensive threats, and you got him sitting on the bench where he can't score. And if Kevin Durant can do that to you, takes your offense and puts it on the bench, and now he has the guy who can't guard him, now you might see Giannis have to step over there and have to deal with Kevin Durant. And then we're going to see, can one of the best defensive players in the league actually stop one of the greatest forces ever in the league in Kevin Durant?
All right, so we got to do a wrap up real quick. So we've got to talk about Utah Clippers and what we see, but let's talk about Atlanta and 76ers. I'm afraid to even say who looks like they should do something or who should be great or who shouldn't be great. But to me, Atlanta served a death blow. And it was the same death blow that they served to the Knicks. I mean, when you come back and take somebody's heart, now maybe Philly comes back in this game and is effective. Maybe they do their thing. But when you've got Ben Simmons making history for suckage, and you've got a team that's really, I don't know if they're fully immersed in this game, but I'm looking for Atlanta to close the series out, and I'm looking for a Nets Atlanta Eastern Conference final. What so say you, Jay Sizzle?
Joel Embiid, man, and he went 0 for 12 or something like that in game 4. Wasn't it something crazy?
Yeah.
So now you're looking at a guy right now who looks like he knows they don't have enough.
How much more do you need?
You know what I'm saying?
How much more do you need if you're Philly? You got Lil Curry.
He looks
like, okay, so you don't get a full plate of curry. You get a half plate of curry. So you get the small serving curry.
A half plate of curry.
Yeah, you got half curry. You got Ben Simmonsing. You paid this other young man enough money to make build an island, and you got Joel Embiid. How much more do you need? And you got Danny Green.
Look, you had Steph Curry go for 37 and you lost.
Yes.
37.
And what didn't Joel give you a double-double? Like 36 and 12,
and you
something
lost.
like that?
I think they looked at Trae Young and went, I don't think we can beat that guy. Because when he starts surging on you, there's no answer for Trae Young. Nobody on the 76ers can D up Trae Young in any way, shape, or form. He gets what he wants when he wants it. Now, the Atlantic Hawks have a problem with because you got to get these other guys off for the Atlanta Hawks because we know like no one guy can win a game for you. But when you need a bucket, Trae Young's a bucket. And Trae Young's been a bucket the entire playoffs. A bucket. Rest assured. I just don't think the 76ers think they can win.
That's so sad.
I just don't think so. How do you lose these heartbreaking games like this? How do you not knock Trae Young on his behind?
But you brought in Doc Rivers. He's supposed to help you do all the things.
Look, they were up 70-40 to 46 in the third quarter, if I'm right about that. I'm looking at that right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the comeback started. And the Hawks outscored the Sixers 63 to 36 in the final 20 minutes. 63 to 36 in the final 20 minutes. What does that tell you? They poured it on him the last 20 minutes. They just poured it over him. And you could not stop Trae Young. And I think, again, if it's close again, I think you're going to see the 76ers implode again. Because I don't think that's just a little happy little house over there. And I don't think so. I don't think they're all kumbaya and having fun over there. I don't think so. Where's Embiid's help? Where's his help? Because I know you ain't relying just on Curry.
You got Ben Simmons, the greatest 7'9" forward in the history of man. He's as great as Magic Johnson with the ball, but as deadly as Michael Jordan somewhere.
And where is he? Because he was supposed to be your super duper star, right? Where is he? Because when somebody's taking over a game, if you're a superstar, you have to take over the game.
So I'm looking at a picture of Dwight Howard defends Ben Simmons against criticism, right? And we all know Dwight Howard's about 6'9", something like that. He's not a 7-footer. He was undersized, but he's a big guy, right? He's wide. But here's my thing. And I'll say this and make it work. If I'm looking at the picture of Dwight and I'm looking at Ben Simmons, and Ben Simmons is shorter than Dwight Howard, then you're telling me that Ben Simmons is like a 6'7" small forward that can't shoot. That's all you're telling me right now. And that's about what I see.
Absolutely.
I mean, Clint Capella is putting in work. everybody on Atlanta is putting in work. I don't know what's going on in Philly.
Yeah.
I have
You got
no
Collins
idea.
with 19 points. Lou Williams had 15. I mean, the bench is helping. Yeah, Garliardi has 16 points.
Dude, Hot Wing Lou was putting in work, son. It was like they went back to the fountain of youth for Hot Wing. Boy, stop. Quit playing with that grown man.
Right.
I'm going to tell you now, you don't guard Lou Williams, he's going to give you the hot sauce. He's going to give it to you. He's going to pour it on your face.
But this is what a guy like Trae Young does for your ball club. Because they know if you take off, Trae Young's going to get you the ball. Trae Young's going to break it down. Ain't nobody stopping Trae Young. And when he hits you with the floaty game, then he's going to start talking to you. Oh, you didn't like that? I'm coming right back to the same spot and do it again. Oh, you didn't like that? I'm coming right back to the same spot. Oh, y'all run out here on a double team? Let me put you in the spin cycle. Let me hit you with the package. Part 2. He got 2 or 3 packages he just throw on people. Just what you gonna do? You know, he got his hair sticking up in the back and the hair going down. I don't know what that haircut is he got going on. You know, that ain't a regular haircut. I don't know what he paid top dollar for that haircut. I guarantee you, because he sort of looks like who's that? Dragon Ball Z a little bit.
Okay, that's it. All we can say is if the Sixers make it out to a game 7, God bless them, but I don't see it coming. All right.
No.
Quickly, we got to talk about Utah Clippers. Is Utah gonna show up tonight? They really want to play tonight?
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. What are they doing?
Mm-hmm.
What are they doing? Kawhi?
Mm-hmm.
Kawhi? No Kawhi? Now you just letting now you're letting pretty braids Paul George.
Yeah. So the question is, does Paul George have another PG Indiana game in him, or does Donovan Mitchell actually show up to a game? How about that?
I don't know, man. Pressure busts a pipe.
Yeah.
You know? And right now, Paul George, because he doesn't have Kawhi Leonard, they're not expected to win because the superstar's down. So there is no pressure on him. He could just shoot the ball with
freedom and
at this point.
right?
I mean, if he goes 4 for 20, who cares? Because they say, hey, he tried to win the game himself. But if he goes 16 for 20 from the field, you know what I'm saying? Something crazy, you know. So he can't lose. He can't lose if he goes down swinging and he's just firing, and he just doesn't hit stuff. They say, hey, you know, Kawhi wasn't here. What can we do?
All right, so let's look at it. Utah Clippers, nobody cares.
Wow.
Nobody cares. I mean, like if Donovan does, I mean, look, if Gobert and the Spider Boy don't come into play, it's going to be a bad day.
Go Bears, sir.
Gobert.
Say that right.
Gobert.
Say that right.
I'm not going to say it right until he wins the games. Win the series.
Is he out there passing the vid? Is he passing the vid around? What happened to CP3?
Oh, CP3 got on that COVID banana boat. That's what happens when you have too many people who
This was the wrong time.
Yeah, it's the wrong time. But thankfully, the series is dragging out. But look, man, you can't just be letting
COVID protocol. He's gonna miss the finals. He's gonna miss the finals. You're talking 2 weeks. He's gonna miss the finals. I mean, what, game 5 if they get there?
And we've seen what they do without
he went
nothing.
He went in protocol. He went in protocol what, yesterday?
2 days ago, I believe. 2 or 3.
So you're 12 days out. You're talking about 12 days out from right now? So what's he finals game 3, maybe?
Keep telling you can't just keep letting all these people in your house. I don't care if you are with Jake from State Farm. You can't let all these unvaccinated people up in your house. You fool around with someone who's COVID positive, and now you're in the protocol. How about that?
Right, and then again, and I'm surprised about that with Chris Paul, to tell you the honest truth. I thought, but we all know the COVID, it don't matter. If you're not vaccinated or no, so he wasn't vaccinated?
Good question. Good question.
He wasn't vaccinated. Because if he was vaccinated, I want to know what he had, because maybe I need to put my spacesuit back on.
All I'm gonna say is, you know, people are getting a common cold again that haven't had the cold in 2 years, because now when you've got more unvaccinated, unmasked people roaming around in society versus those who are wearing masks, what's the point of the mask? You got more people.
Okay, so
what?
So he says that, all right, so I'm going back to there. I'm just taking a quick look. I know we got to wrap this up, but so doctor from the University of Arizona, my alma mater, just want to throw that in, said his first reaction was that he hoped he was fully vaccinated, because if he's fully vaccinated, it's likely not going to be a big deal. The question now they said Paul indeed is vaccinated, according to the Arizona Sports John Gabayardo. So if he is fully vaccinated, why are we in this protocol?
Question is, how vaccinated is he?
Okay, so here goes. So it says by NBA protocol, Paul had to either wait 10 days after testing positive. Now he tested positive and he was fully vaccinated. Now I want to know what vaccine he took. And showed those symptoms for at least 24 hours. Was it Pfizer? Was it that Johnson & Johnson? Because Johnson been tripping up a little bit. Or he had to receive 2 back-to-back PCR tests for that 24 hours. So, you know, so they're saying that he was fully vaccinated. So that's a little bit of an issue. He's fully, that's not a little bit, that's a lot of issue. If he was fully vaccinated and he came up with COVID, even though these vaccinations are 88% protection, most of them, I know the Pfizer one is. So you still have a 12% chance of getting COVID if you're out there running around.
And that means he was around the super COVID spreader.
Possible.
Maybe he went and played golf at Mar-a-Lago's. I don't know.
Well, but the whole thing about it is now, but you know, if it says all these places, if you go out, all these places, if you've been fully vaccinated, you can just sashay around. You know, and at some point in time, people are sashaying around. I'm sashaying around. You know, just because you can't look. If you got your mask on, but your nose is still out, which I don't understand, or you got your mask, or the people with the mask down below their chin. What? Why?
Just take it.
How does that help?
Just take it all.
How does that help?
But I do think people should be masked when you're dealing with food and so, like at a register. I think that's cool. Yes, mask you, mask me. That's fine. I don't need your breath. You don't need mine. Let's just keep it like that. And I want masked people over my fries. I don't want unmasked people. I don't want ungloved and unmasked people on my fries. This has nothing to do with COVID. I don't know where your hands have been. I don't know what you just went in the break room to do with your assistant manager. I don't know, and I don't want to see it, and I don't want to smell it on my fries. So put some gloves on, put a mask on, and serve food. Yeah.
All right, so they're saying that if Paul, if Utah pushes this out and it gets out to a game 7, then that means Paul could be back game 1 maybe, but most likely it'll be game 2.
All right.
So we'll see how it all works out. But
or is this Chris Paul's secret plan to give his opponent all of the team COVID?
Now, the doctor said, I'm Dr. Thomas here. I'm reporting this.
Yes,
from the Arizona Sun.
Yes,
they said that 93% of the people who get COVID-19 after getting vaccinated don't show symptoms or only very mild ones. And this is what people don't realize. The vaccination does not stop you from getting COVID.
True.
It just stops you from having symptoms. So you could be COVID positive now if you have if you've been vaccinated, but you just have no symptoms whatsoever. You know. So anyway. Oh well, that's our doctor show for today.
Hey, that's what we do. Sizzle, where you get not only sports information, you get medical information from doctors who only play doctors during our segment. So we'd like to thank you for listening to the Sizzle. You know who it is. He's Jay Sizzle. I'm G Sizzle. Make sure that you're subscribing, liking, and hitting that thumbs up button. And make sure that you're peeping us out. Look, man, we're going to be reposting on Facebook and all other places. People like, man, I ain't seen you on Facebook. I ain't know what y'all doing. I thought y'all packed up and went to another country. Listen, man, we're here. We're better than ever. We're giving it to you hot, giving it to you fresh. You know what it is. It's the Sizzle here, the hottest talk in the region, the hottest talk in the 219. And we will see you, my friend, on the other side.
Make sure that you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Iron Skillet Sports. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to Iron Skillet Sports on YouTube at Iron Skillet Sports.